Hello, good morning. Happy Monday. And today's a holiday too, isn't it? Yes, it's Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day in America too. I'm not celebrating because I work for myself now, so I don't get any holidays. Hello, Asitsu. How are you doing today? Or I get all the holidays. It's one or the other. It's one of those things. All right. So I mentioned this on Discord, and any of you who saw the upcoming stream titles probably knows that we're doing something slightly different today. Omnifoodus, hello. How are you doing today? What do I know about AI? Well, I do know that most of what we call AI right now isn't really intelligent at all, and so therefore doesn't deserve the name AI. But at this point in time, marketing has done its job, and anybody who attempts to not reference it as AI just won't get anywhere. So that's unfortunate. Basically, it's all about predictive stuff. Like it's predicting the next X. So you could have LLMs that are predicting the next words or sentences or series of tokens depending upon the settings. You can have AI what Amazon uses in their stores that predicts what items that you want to purchase next. There's a bunch of things like that that sort of like sit in our devices and do all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. We've actually built some very basic machine learning things that attempt to do that. We're not very good at it yet, but we have built some like from scratch, some like cool stuff. So we know about like how to create a neural evolutionary network, things like that. We haven't made it great though, but that won't be this talk. So from what I can tell, the specific AI meetup that I'm going to be talking at. So I'm that guy. So I went to one meetup with them because I found it in meetup.com, and it was in town and it was around. I wasn't going to any other meetups that week. So I'm like, okay, let's go try it out. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of people there, a lot more than many of the other meetups that I've been to recently. And the talk was about agents. So like creating agents to do some really like more advanced stuff in AI. But something that wasn't necessarily that bothered me, but like something that I noticed, and then I was talking to some of the other technical people there too, is that the talk did not go into any technical detail whatsoever. Like here's how to implement agents. It was more like from a very high level, here is what an agentic structure is for AI. And that was it. Like, okay, thanks. It was informative. I now know a lot more about agents and what they are, but I don't know how to build them. So I did go and chat with the hosts of the meetup afterwards, and of course, like always, they're like, "Hey, if you want to talk," I basically told them, "Yeah, I'd love to talk. I recently created the AI hashing algorithm, and so they signed me up for a May meetup. So May is obviously a while from now." But then the other day, they reached out to me and said, "Hey, how would you mind also talking at a December meetup?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, I'm up for it. What day?" And they're like, "December 3rd." And I'm like, "Great, okay." So I am now on a hook for a 20-minute talk at the meetup itself is called the AI Ops Meetup, which um, I'm I'm not really sure what operations like specific about AI means in this case, and the talks that I've looked at don't seem to really care. It just seems to be about like mostly LM AI, and that just any topics in there. And I asked them like anything about AI, and they're like, yeah, anything. So my goal, let's actually add this in here. So goals for the talk. I want to be able to like something with agents, because I think that is, I don't think that like just going a cover like a facade for like ChatGPT is that interesting anymore. Like a lot of people have done that. That's been done to heck and back. That's just like basically creating a system prompt or some other like very basic settings and using the API. So I think like an agent structure is like or maybe like about a project that uses agents. Can I do a talk about the movie instead? Wait, which movie? AI movie? Is there an AI movie? Are you talking about Her? Because I never watched that movie. I have no idea. Yeah, I have not watched any of the AI movies, as far as I know. So that would be funny though. Okay, so about a project that uses agents, I want sort of like a high level overview, but I also want a technically or satisfying for technical audience. So that's something important to me, is that anybody who is like a programmer can like feel good about the talk, or at least feel inspired to go and do something and has like a starting place to go and do this. Oh, AI artificial intelligence from 2001. I don't think I ever watched that. No. You are not allowed to see other networks. I did update my my OS here on my MacBook, and now the security has changed apparently, and so like everything is asking for permission to look at like other devices on the network, and I'm like, nope for everything. I also signed up for the Apple intelligence, which I did find is funny that Apple continues their absolute stark refusal to use the words artificial intelligence. So they instead, because they also, feel the pressure to use AI, they just made up their own Apple intelligence. I thought that was hilarious. So that is I signed up for that, and apparently I got in. I don't know really what that means. There doesn't seem to have very much available yet, but especially I don't think there's that much I can show on stream, because I think a lot of it is like, oh yeah, we know all your personal data, so you can do stuff about that. But okay, so still in a previous version of your own laptop, but this new one is a little different. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got the latest, right? So you're super fast? All right. So, let's do maybe let's have like a specific goal statement for something like this. So the real goal for the talk, like the real goal, the true goal for the talk is to be inspired, because I always feel that conference and meetup talks shouldn't really be there to teach you like lower level, like here's exactly how. That's more of like a workshop type thing, because most people are passively listening and maybe can ask some questions afterwards. There's no real educational opportunities there. But what I can do is inspire. So we can like show off a project that they can do. We can give a very high level overview from a non-technical perspective, and also a lower high level overview of like how it got done. So I don't have to go into code necessarily, but like here's how I wired it up. It's like things like that. It's entirely my fault. You saw that the compile times were much better than your own laptop. And something that's amazing is that this is still the M1 Max. I think it's the M1 Max. It's not the M1 Pro. Let me double check. That wasn't it. I wanted. Yeah, I have the Apple M1 Max. So, I mean, the fact that we're on M4 already, but I also don't feel really that big of a need to switch away is really a testament to like the power of the M chip so far. Although the thing that makes me want more is actually the memory, not the actual chips, the memory, because the ability to go up to 128 gigabytes, you could run all sorts of really cool AI type stuff on that. Although I'm sure that like if I wait another year, maybe they'll even double that and go to 256 or something crazy like that. But I don't know. We're in fun times. Okay, so what is my goal? So I want to I guess by the end of this talk, you will be so inspired to build your own project with AI agents. So I don't know if it's AI agents or with an AI agent. I think that's what it is. And then the other one is not understand. So you won't be able to understand, but you will know where to start with creating your AI agent project. I think that's what it is. Hugh, hello. How are you doing today? You're waiting for the Mac Studio to go to M4 before you upgrade. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, pretty much like whatever device you're waiting for, like waiting for the M4 or greater, like whatever. Because I noticed like don't they sometimes skip generations where some Macs will be like, oh yeah, we're the M1 and now we're the M3 or the M4 or something like that. Didn't the MacBook Air do that? No Apple Intelligence for British English yet, but hopefully next month. Not desperate enough to switch your language. Yeah, and Mac Mini did that. Okay. That, I guess that makes sense, Isitsu. They're probably still in beta for it. Like, it's probably one of those things where it's one of those like it's beta because I had to request it specifically, and Apple rarely does that. Usually, if they're confident with something, they just give it to everybody. But in this case, I requested it, which means I think that they're considering it still in beta, which is it'll be interesting. I haven't really played with what Apple usually calls a beta before. Okay, so I requested what? Apple Intelligence, and I got it. So it was one of those like I requested and they immediately give it to me. I think what it is I have an M1 Max chip, and so that's enough for them to give it to me because a lot of it just runs on my system, I believe, and not on their cloud, so it won't take up that much more resources for them. But what it can do, like they gave me a list of it. It's like, okay, they'll summarize some notifications. They'll let me like, reword a like a chat message. They'll like a couple other little minor things, but like not enough for me to pay for it, which is good because I don't have to pay for it. Okay, so let's go over some ideas for the demo for this. So I guess like let's also go maybe over like the talk talk itself. So what I usually what we have is we have like let's see, we have a title screen, we have usually like about me page, we have the main talk, and we have the ending, right? The ending / contact me. So these are all simple. Like I can pull those from other things. The main obviously is this is where we get into a couple different things. So if I want to talk about agentic structure, so I probably need to talk about like what agents are, and I might want to go sort of like a back and forth thing between the app that I built and the structure and how it works. And so we want to go with like a super high level and then go down a little bit deeper. And so maybe like we do like a problem statement that this demo solves or something like that. So like we have a slide for a problem statement. We have the overview or description of the app, of the agent. And then we have probably like a demo / video of the agent in progress at work. I say demo because so one of the ideas that was given to us was like this cooking helper thing. So cooking helper, I don't really have a good name for it. And I don't think we got a name. Did we? Did we have a name for it, this one? It was in Discord. So the idea is that it so like I ask for, or maybe user asks for help cooking something. Agent creates a list don't start also Matthew DeLoretto, hello, how are you doing today? Don't start with about me, common talk trap. Tell people at the end in the contact me slide, present topic first, and you'll have better attention from the audience. Ooh, I like that. So if I do about me, so really what I say is something like, we have conclusion, and that's going to be maybe like a summary about me, download talk and code, something like that. Okay, I could see that. That actually makes a lot of sense. I think I vaguely remember hearing that before somewhere, and I just ignored it. So I'll try it this time. Yeah, you linger in the last slide to take questions, and the last slide is your bio plus contact. Yeah, and that does make sense because I do see that a lot. I do also see a lot of people just not put contact information, or maybe they put contact information that's really hard to, or like doesn't make any sense. I also like the idea of like download the code and talk. So because like a lot of people always ask for this, it's like, hey, can I have access to the slides or something like that? So I want to put the slides in GitHub right from the beginning, and then that way everybody can just have access to them. Okay, so a user asks for help cooking something. Agent creates a list of steps with times for each step, specifically in JSON. Agent. So it would be amazing if I could also do agent watches user agent watches user and reads out steps, and reprimands if steps are off. Restart from current step if user misses time, or something like that. So you get sort of like the loop until it's done or until you fail. So this would be like how it looks. This would be like a video probably of me like in a kitchen being totally reprimanded by an AI because I either can't find some crazy ingredients that don't exist, or I can't I don't do things fast enough. Oh, make sure to tell people where to download at the beginning so people don't. Oh yeah, okay. So let's do. Oh, I could do this as part of the title. So the title also has download link for slides/code. Yeah, I like that. So if I put that onto the title screen, because I can leave that up for a few minutes before we begin, then people can see that. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay, so so problem statement, description of the agent. So let's say if it's the cooking thing, problem statement would be, hey, I do enjoy cooking, but I don't enjoy planning, or something like that. Like a lot of these projects also are like silly type things. So why this would be like why silly AI projects are amazing. Okay, so we have our problem statement. We have a very high level of like description of what this agent would do, which would be sort of like what we have up here. We have a demo of the thing being working, and maybe we do like a high level non-technical overview of agentic structure. And then I want to maybe go over like specific steps. So like breakdown demo and show how specific parts of so how specific parts are wired up. So something like that. So it could be something like, all right, well, I needed an AI to this agent uses like 5 AIs, like LMs working together, and that's like the one agent. And I have like, and these are how I'm using Olama, and I'm using all that other stuff, and blah blah blah. And so breakdown of the demo, show how specific parts are wired up. So like, okay, there's like one agent that like takes the input and then changes it into something else, and that hands it to another agent, but that hands it to like my code and tells it to like run a tooling. So things like that. And then also maybe we want to, so like I guess like for the breakdown also includes things like the tools being used. That'd be something like Olama, the LM itself. So my guess is that we're going to use Llama 3.2, but who knows? I might change that around. 3.2 would allow me, so like even though I have a lot of memory on this system, I have a really beefy CPU, and Apple memory is like really interesting for the M1 Max chips. Basically all of it is kind of similar to video RAM, so it works really fast, especially with LM type tasks. So I can run multiple LMs together at the same time, including multiple different models if I really need to. Although the new 3.2 have vision capability, so I might be able to get away with just that same model for everything if I also want to like throw in some video type stuff, which is like part of this. Like if it watches the user, it can watch through like the video camera or something. You have found that the small models are sufficient for most use cases. Yeah, I've been really impressed by the small models. Like they are, it's shocking how good they are as long as you don't want them to do something more. Like if you want them to be more intelligent across a broader range of things, then I think the bigger models are better. But even like the supposedly, so Llama 3.1, sorry, Llama 3.0 8B is equivalent to Llama 2 70B. That's their own documentation like stated that like they've been improving the not performance but the capabilities and the just the raw quality of output of their LMs. So as they get smaller, they get just as good as the previous generation's larger models. So like the new 1B from 3.2 is equivalent to the 3.1 8B, which is really amazing if you think about that. Because like that 1B can fit onto almost anything and work really well. Like even if you want to run a Raspberry Pi. And that's where we're heading. We're heading towards being able to use these LMs on small IoT devices. And I'm really excited about not having to use the cloud. Or not feeling that you have to give everything to some kind of big company like, you know, Microsoft or Amazon or, you know, OpenAI isn't really considered a big company, but they're up there. Okay, so even with this feels like it's going to go over time. So once we build it, then we're going to have to practice it a few times and then cut it down because I have in total restrictions 20 minutes. So 20 minutes of talk, 10 minutes QA. And so that is set. I can't take like 30 minutes of talk and then sort of go with that. It is like I've been told it's 20 minutes talk, 10 minutes QA, which I'm perfectly fine with. Okay, so let's figure out some of these ideas. So to-do app. Is there anything more about Cooking Helper that we want to get into? Do I want to do more? I can move this to the top since we already started working on this. So Cooking Helper, user asks for help cooking something. Agent creates a list of steps with times for each step. Agent watches user and reads out steps and reprimands if steps are off. Restart from the current step if user misses time. And this is probably going to, with all of these, I'm planning on glue code with Rust. Because, well, obviously Rust is pretty fast, but also I'm maybe like, we have a technical. So tech used. So tech will have Rust, we'll have Ollama. And so if I run Ollama is this nice little cool llama thing up here. No updates required. That's cool. I haven't run it in a short while. Nope, never mind. There are updates. It's go ahead and get that going. Why can't a chat app do the cooking helper? What is added by using agents? So the agentic type thing and the cooking helper thing, I think it's really just like a multi-model type thing. So if we go into maybe a little bit more detail for this. So user asks help cooking something. Let me see if I can find. Nope, don't want to do that. Come back. I want freeform. That's what it is. Okay. They updated freeform, but I don't think they added it in the dark mode yet, which is unfortunate. That'd be really nice. I would love that. But okay, never mind. All right, so if I wanted to say something like, I guess we'll start with text. So we'll have user input. So build like help me bake bake chocolate chip cookies. So this would be our input, right? And an LM. So an LM would, so it would be like, I think what an agent in this case would be a group of LMs with some glue code together would then sort of work with this. So we also will have our Rust app. So that's also going to be a little bit weird. So like, let's say we have our Rust app, and then this would be something like, you're going to grab, so take in input, and you're going to send to a specific this would be a model for like formatting to restate the request. So to restate request. So I think what we'd have is we'd have a bunch of different models that do their own specific thing. So I think a lot of people, and so I'm kind of free-forming my mind here and just sort of chatting. So I might like sort of go back and forth really quickly as I'm thinking this out. I actually want to change this out a little bit more. Let's imagine that we're doing this like a factory, like Factorio type thing. We want to create like a line of different machines that are going to do stuff to the request and then eventually have the output and then the end result of it. And we want the agent to be, and the agent is the entire line of things. And so you can imagine maybe like individual people, but I don't think that's a good analogy because people are too intelligent and smart, and LMs and other AI type things are just, they're not there yet. They don't have the creativity, they don't have the problem solving. So if we treat them more like sort of dumb machines that can do a little bit more stuff, we might be able to get a little bit more out of them. As ironic as that is. So we can have something like the first step along this would be change the request, so like improve / change the request. So that's like the first step here. So help bake me cookies. That's our input that comes in, and the first station, as it were, changes the request to be like maybe better for like the chef, right? And so then the chef here then creates a long like sort of list of things to like long list of steps to take with times. But it can be in word format, because the chef, that their only job is just to create a description of like, here's what you need to do and here's how long each step is going to take. That's all that matters. And then another one is going to convert this into JSON format, where we have, at the very minimum right now, I don't know for certain, but we'd have something like time for the step. So this would be a probably just a number. What? How did that number? And then the other one would be the description of the step. So that would be a string. Okay. Now this comes into our first QA. So there's going to be plenty of QA steps here. And if I add in, I think I have to do, nope. I think I have to do arrows like this. There might be a key combination for it, but I'm not sure. In fact, I am fairly certain that there is a key combination. I don't know what it is. Is it Alt? Nope. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So we're going to have U arrow, go to there. Euro, go to there. And actually, you know what? Change the request. This might require a QA right here already. So like QA. And can I create? Yes, I can create. Oh, this is probably what I want. So oh, it's not what I want. You come back to here potentially. Like that, or you move forward. That's one of the two options, right? So a QA basically looks and says, hey, is the request like actually good? If not, send it back to this station and do it again. There's this theory in physical manufacturing that you want to QA early and often. So like pretty much after every single thing that happens. That way, if there is a problem, you don't get to the end and say like, well, this is completely useless, and it was useless halfway through the line. Okay, so QA with that. Otherwise, it passes through. We convert it into JSON, and then we do another QA round, which means we also do this. Bring you here. Okay, so after we've converted this into JSON, we probably have our Rust program take. Well, I mean, our Rust program is kind of handing it. So this comes back to Rust. Rust hands it to QA. QA tells our Rust code go back or move forward. That's all the QA really does. And our Rust code is just gluing this all together using API calls to our local AIs. Okay, so we move forward. We have QA on this. We have our JSON format. Now okay, so we have what it needs to do. So now we need the thing to read it out, right? So do I want to change do I want to like, I can use the computer to like just read things with say command, because I don't need to like go and use what's the thing that everybody uses? 11 Labs. I don't need to use 11 Labs to like create a voice. We already have voices at home. We can use our free voices. So once we get this, I want to now, I guess, like read out the first step at, change the request. I'm missing a step in here. So I want chef, so AI chef creates recipe with times for each step. That goes in here. We have another QA. And another one of these. So like basically every single one gets that fun QA step. Then that's not what I want. I want to pull all of you in. Okay, so then after our QA, chef is happy with our recipe. So like these are all different QAs too, because like they would all be different QA stations. So this would be QAs for the request, a different QA AI for this. So these are all potentially different LM models that have to run for this. So there's going to be a lot of models, but with a 1B or a 3B or even an 8B, it's not going to be that bad. Especially if I created like separate system prompts, and it could be the same model with different system prompts too. Like it doesn't have to be like a completely different loaded model in memory. Okay, so QA, convert this into JSON format. Okay, so we do that. So once it's in JSON format, then we want the reader to read it out. So we have read out the description. And then also like read out the description and how much time you have, just for added. That will give like an added stress and pressure. That'll be fun. Okay, so once we have that, why is this different? Is this? Oh, because these are stickies and these are just squares. That's why they look different. Okay, I wonder if I should make them all. We can redo this later. Okay, so we read out the description and how much time we have. I then so user starts doing it. So let's say if I want, we have like the Rust code is that this would be the AI is the blue, and then we'll have like a user. User can be purple because it's first in a list. Read out the description, how much time you have. Okay, so then the user so like follows instructions in real life, which that we know that this is not going to work out very well, but that's sort of the fun of it, right? Can I? Yeah, I can do something like that. You also should have an arrow on this side. Yeah. Okay, so read out the instructions. So you attempt to follow instructions, and now I want this in here to maybe like capture stills. So like because I don't know of any AIs that really can like watch a video, and most of them just watch frames, like individual frames, especially local AIs. I know that there's some that like you can hand them some videos, but from what I understand, they're really just looking at individual frames and or just looking at the transcript, and that's all it really is. So I want to capture like continually capture like a still from the webcam. So like webcam image. I also want it to capture like listen and transcribe from Mike. I think these things would all then go together into another AI call. Switch over to use this, which would then like be like the chef who is watching and judging and seeing how you're gonna do. So give feedback on what is being said and happening. So this also is like this. Let's see. Might be more useful to have a human in a loop for that step. No need for webcam, but users should say help me or something if they don't know. It will be much easier than getting the AI to recognize when you don't follow its instructions. Yeah, that'd be fun. That would probably be more realistic. I think that I am in part going for silly, so I kind of do want it to be humorous and like funny as it's going, because I don't really believe that what we have as AI is like ready for full time, like go replace people yet. But I do think that like if you attempt to do it that way, you get hilarious results, and that's what I'm going for here. In doing the silly stuff, we learn how to do the stuff for real when it's eventually better. That's my theory. Okay, so we get feedback on what's being said, and that's kind of it, right? Like this then loops back around. So if I do this again, you are here, and then I'm continuing. Oh, this actually loops to here, doesn't it? I see. So not like the user isn't cutting the onion to the correct size, and more like the user is doing jumping jacks, not cutting the onion at all. Lol. Or things like, why are you still at the cutting board? I gave you 15 seconds to cut all the onions, and you should be on step 4, and you're still like there. Come on, what's wrong with you? Like think like that. Like, and that we can give. And so what's interesting is that there's two parts to this, right? Like, so the entire this entire thing is one agent, right? Like that's what you call an agent. It's just a bunch of AI sort of working together with some glue code. But this is sort of like a pre-step, and then this is the run step. It's like we have running time now. So like, okay, this is more like the chat bot, right? Like the chat bot is now saying like, hey, you're supposed to be on step, like you're on step 1, but my webcam, and of course the webcam. So this actually, we need one more thing. So another AI thing here would be transcribes, like describe what the what is happening in the cam. I should probably have a QA step for this too. I kind of want to switch over to all of these whenever we change something. And you go like that. It's there. And then there we go. Yeah. So this would be like one potential funny thing. This would be like a very physical in person type of thing. And my guess is it would be like all of the other AI cooking things that you've seen on YouTube. If any of you have seen those, they're usually disastrous. They don't end very well. AI sometimes makes up ingredients that don't exist, or will tell you to do nonsensical things like now go add soil to the to the cookies, or add all of the water, or add every bit of flour that you have in the house. And it's like, what? So anyways, that would be funny to basically just create this, because we know that the AI is nonsensical because it's like almost there, but not quite. Then we get a humorous output. But with a real structure for when the AI is good, it actually becomes a good thing later, if that makes sense. So I think that there's a lot of stuff that will change with this. We're in chaos space for this right now because there's a lot of unknowns. But this is where it would start. And then every step of the way, we'd be able to sort of like understand more about this project and how it works. I mean, the entire point is to learn agentic structure and how to do it. So this is one of the potential projects. So let me put a box around this. And that's not what I wanted. I want a box. Oh, I see. Box like that. And I want you have an outline. How do I make it transparent? So I want you to have an outline. No fill. There it goes. Where's my outline? Oh, I made it white. That's why. And you go away. Okay, so this is one idea. So maybe we can call this the AI cooking assistant. And I'll throw that up there. Okay, so that's one of the ideas. Let's move on to another potential idea. So another idea is this is the To-Do app. So the To-Do app that I came up with is think of every like project. Like whenever you're learning a new coding technology, it's always like, okay, now make a To-Do app in it. Yeah, CLI To-Do app, or a front end, like, you're doing a front end framework and you just build a To-Do app inside of there, or a full stack To-Do app. Like people, like that seems to be a very common practice app with that. But what if we made a To-Do app that was not just AI sort of integrated into it, but AI was the core part of it? So you would have user. So write item to do. You wrote a very simple to-do app. Here it is. To-do. Oh, the macro to-do? Oh, no. Oh, you mean the macro to-do because it's not implemented. And so it just crashes. Oh, that's good and topical. Okay, so you write an item to do. The AI takes this in and rewrites, so like rephrases the to do. And of course, we're going to have the QA for every step, just like before. So rephrases the to do. So we're going to have you go to there. Like that. Okay. Rephrases the to do. QA, which means you go back like that. I misspelled rephrase. It's neither of those. Rewrites the to do into something better. QA writes item to do. Okay, so that goes back there. So once we do that, then we want the AI to pretty much do everything, right? So the AI then writes SQL to insert into database. And of course, we have the QA that also works with that. So writes the SQL to insert into the database. The QA says like, that's not good SQL, or that is good SQL. Yeah, sure, go ahead, do it. Okay, so that write the SQL to insert into the database. And so really, this is either writes to do item or like states what they like states command. So, but this is like a request. And so that could be something like new item to do. It could be completing an item. It could be requesting next like list of items. Could be something like that, right? And so you rewrite the to do or whatever that is. So like this is choosing. You either rewrite, let's see. I probably want this to actually choose what to do then, right? So choose what to do. I think that there should still be a QA for like, hey, we're going off into one of these different branching paths, but it's a tool to be called. And so choose item what to do, then write SQL to do the thing. So write SQL. After you write SQL, then this would be probably run the SQL. There's probably no QA step in here because this is Rust code that actually just runs the SQL command and just does the thing. We get the output though, and then this can be don't move that. I want to copy. Interpret SQL output. So figure out what you want to say, and then display result to user. So Can I add another? Oh, I wish I could add like another one of these dots. Can I do that? I can like move this around like that. So let me move you. There, that'll be good enough. And then of course you have a loop, right? So then this gets from you back to you. So that would be the to-do app. So instead of, so one of the requests in Discord was, hey, an app that, like, you know, how to get the AI to do some kind of like consistent JSON output. And this would be how to get the AI to do consistent SQL output and actually use a database and do stuff for you. Now, is this a good idea? No, this is a terrible idea. We're taking a very solved problem and we're now rewriting the entire thing with AI that doesn't need to be AI and is just going to do a worse job. There's no way it could do a better job. But it's funny. It is hilarious because you could end up saying like, I want to do this thing, and it completely rewrites what I want to do into something nonsensical. Who knows? It'll be great. So that's the to-do app. And then the other one that I came up with this morning is video game assistant. So this would be user like just plays game, right? So plays game and then get rid of all this stuff. Okay, so user plays game, and I want Rust code to listen to Mike and transcribe it, right? It's like listen to Mike. We have to probably like send to a service to transcribe it, or send like local. I'm not sure how that works. This be transcribe audio to text, and then we also have screenshot. So take screenshot, and then we'll have an AI that describes screenshot. We'll have our pattern of the QA. So you have QA AI, and this can send back, or it can move forward, right? So if we end up moving forward, then I want the AI here. You get both of you, and you also get you. To like come up with a response. So now, like, what kind of assistant to do the thing? So like we have games like simulation type games, we have action type games, I want it to do both commentary on like what I'm doing, but also like actual like can it try to help in a hilariously bad way? So like maybe I can ask it to do something, right? So it can choose task to do. So again, tool use inside of Olama. So choose a task to do based upon this. So that could be something like store information, store info as memory. It could also be just comment. And it could also be recall info as memory. Recall info. So I guess one of those three things. Then that's going to call in to run a tool where we probably do the QA thing again. You don't see this working at all, at least not for multiplayer games. All those profanities when someone on your team and totally not you screws up. Will the AI handle it? I don't know. That's the best part, right? Is because I don't actually care if it's like high quality and good. Or wait, quality means something different. Quality means that it matches what the expected outcome is going to be. The expected outcome is that this is going to be more funny than it's going to be helpful. So in that case, I think it's going to work out brilliantly. And maybe multiplayer games will be the best for it, but also maybe single player games. Like it could be something like, what's that cooking, like the virtual cooking game that everybody was doing where for a while, where you're like in a kitchen, you're walking around, it's hyper realistic. Like even like the plates are breaking. I forget what that was called. But like for a while, every streamer was playing that game. So imagine that because there's things you have to remember, like where materials are, what the recipes are, things like that. So like yes, that's similar to like the cooking assistant, but instead of like it figuring out what to do for me, I can say, okay, hey, I want you to remember that that I need to do this, and then this in that order. And so it has to store that in memory. And then I say, okay, what's the next step? It has to recall like and figure out what the next step is. And then it tells me. It's probably going to get it wrong, which is the funny part, right? And who knows, maybe if I do something like, let's say I play League of Legends and we get all the a bunch of people really upset and angry in text. And if the screenshot picks that up, that could be fun too. Especially if it screws it up and tells me, okay, well, I know that you're top lane, but you need to go down to the bottom lane right now. It's like, it's the first 5 minutes of the game. It's like, well, go to the bottom lane right now. It's like, okay, got it. Time to go to the bottom lane. Okay, so choose task to do. We do that stuff. We do our QA. And then what would be the next thing? So like then it has to like I don't know whether or not it would be part of the to do where I'm saving these into a SQL or just probably just in memory. So probably just sort of like have in memory type things. So we have the various tools to use. So like save into memory. Comment would be read out comment. Recall, restore from memory. So get from memory. So tools. So can we turn this into backseating as a service? Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like everything about AI for this type of thing is backseating as a service. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and so for readout comment, I might want to do something like have you write comment, we do the QA, and then it's actually like read it. It's like say it out loud. I don't know why I forgot how to spell out loud. That's weird. I get it from memory. Save into memory is like an in-memory database type thing, and that ends up. I mean, regardless, like this is just affecting, just like stuff that's affecting context, and then we continue back into play this game, don't we? And then it figures out what it should do based upon that. So then all of these goes back here. And same with you. So that's the video game assistant. None of the, like all of these I would imagine would drive you absolutely insane and you never want to use it full time until the AIs actually can reason and we can like somehow add that in. But I think it would be hilarious or funny, or maybe even something that I do on stream that that is fun to watch me struggle with. Because I can see that working a lot too. But more importantly, this could be a good talk because the demo could be fun if the demo is like 2 minutes long of like an image or cut up images of me like, you know, failing at some of these. Which of these is realistic to implement before the talk? I have no idea. There's a lot of unknowns here. So we have to figure out how any of these, like the QA and sort of like sending back work. So there's okay, so we have research. Research to do. So tool usage with Olama. Which model to use? We have like potentially vision. It's like vision models. I guess like grab a screenshot. So grab image from camera. So once I grab an image from camera, that's pretty easy. I know I can pass that in, but can I use the API for that? That's something I need to use. So like use API to describe image. Like, okay, so something that's easy enough for me is I could take a screenshot of this, let's say. That goes to my desktop. I can, what do I have here? I have Lava latest, but that's not good. So let's do Olama run. 3.2 I think has vision stuff, right? Like this is the one that has, or is there another Llama? Oh, 3.2 vision. This is what I want. You have 11B and 90B. Let's go with the 11B. And specifically, okay, the 11B instruct FP16. So this is the best you could possibly get is 21 gigabytes. That fits in memory quite easily. The 8 quant is 12 gigabytes. Not quite half of it. And so theoretically, 8 quants and FP16 are like fairly similar together. I have noticed in the smaller models it gets, even the 8 quants are like take away significantly from the intelligence of the eye of AI. This might be worth it for me to play with. Let me try this. So if I do you, let's click on you. All right, I'll let this start pulling down, and then we can run this hopefully soon. Oh, only like 6 minutes or so? Wait, that's going... Yeah, we're getting the old Microsoft timer, so this might take a while. Okay, so use an API to describe the image. We want to transcribe like my mic. So transcribe mic. Can I do any of those things? And anything else that's like really important for us to sort of know? I don't think so. I think these are the big questions, right? So if I can do image from a camera, I guess the other thing is grab a screenshot. So grab a screenshot. If I am doing a specific screenshot, let's say I'm playing a game. Yeah, if I'm playing a game, I definitely want to use like a very low size model unless I'm playing on my Windows computer. So that would be a different thing. So grab screenshot from like Windows PC. Because if I can grab it from the Windows PC, I can have the AI running here and give it full access to memory, and therefore it doesn't need to worry about anything else. I don't need to worry about running out of memory. Otherwise, I do need to worry about it, and I need to make sure I'm using a game that won't take up too much memory. Okay, so tool usage, which model use, grab an image from a camera, grab a screenshot, use an API to describe images, transcribe the mic, grab a screenshot from Windows PC. And I think that's it. Because say it out loud, we've already done that before. That's pretty easy. We know how to do that. So if I were to order these, so we could have the to-do app requires tool usage with llama, which model to use, and that's it. So I think the to-do app is the easiest one. So we can definitely implement this before the talk. And then after that, probably Game Assistant is next because it's only a screenshot instead of like a running, like I don't even have to do necessarily running commentary. It could just be just going on its own and completely ignoring me. Like there's a couple different like screenshot, like Game Assistant would be next, which would be grab a screenshot, API describe an image, transcribe mic, and then this one would be cooking assistant. Okay, so I think the to-do is definitely, I think that to-do is definitely a good doable one. We have a little bit less than a full month to do this. And I'm pretty much like just going to focus all the streams on this project because we can do some fun stuff with it, learn a bunch of stuff, create the talk, and then we'll go back to the diesel course. So that is the plan. Okay, so tool usage with Ollama. So this is something we can start looking at right now. Tool usage is really interesting. So the way that this works, I can't use it in the interactive Ollama. We have to use the API for this. And I need to remember what program was I using to talk with Ollama before? Because I have a bunch of sort of API like GUIs. Was it Rapid API? No, I don't think it was Rapid API. I should like write these down, but I never do. Insomnia? Oh yeah, I think it was Insomnia. Spam, hello. How are you doing today? What are we coding? We haven't done any coding yet. What we are working on is figuring out, well, right now I'm figuring out tool usage with Ollama. And then we're going to do an experiment with Vision once this finishes downloading with Ollama. So that's the Llama 3.2 Vision model that they have now. Supposedly is much better than the previous Vision models that we've had available to us. It should be able to read text too, but I haven't really played with it. Okay, let's restart over there. Okay, so show model info. So, okay, this is if I'm generating. Okay, I was using model hasher. What other models do I have? Okay, so I do have Llama 3.1 8B instruct FP16. So I do have these. So let's, come on, get the entire thing. Oh, you're an AI ML engineer. You can help. Awesome. Yeah, so I don't know much about what I'm doing. So we're just sort of making stuff up as we're going along. So for generate completion, let's duplicate you. And we're going to call this tool usage. So the first experiment here. So, I guess like, let me go over the plan. So the plan is to create one of these 3 AI agents, which my understanding, and so correct me if I'm wrong, but I got this based upon a previous meetup talk that I went to. My understanding is that an agent is potentially a bunch of glue code with AI models sort of together. And so I'm not going to be doing any machine learning writing myself, but a bunch of sort of like gluing things together to sort of make an agent. So for example, the blue here would be AI tasks. So I say like, okay, to a model, I want you to like take in, maybe like the text I do is like, help me bake chocolate chip cookies. And the AI model would then change that and then update that to be something else. And then the thing that I'm adding in here that I don't know if is correct or not, but we're going to play around with it, is use a QA AI to read the output of the previous AI and either deny it and say, hey, do it again, but it's bad, or move forward to the next step. And then that goes through, does a bunch of different stuff. And then eventually another AI can read out the previous input to say like, hey, here's what you're doing. And then it can look at what I'm actually doing in the camera and yell at me and do other fun stuff with that. But the big part of this is all up front here. Yes, correct? Okay, awesome. The easiest one is the To-Do app, because this has no vision, this has no nothing else. It's just this. And we're going to do as much of this locally as possible using just Ollama. You can use wrappers like Crue, Microsoft AutoGen, or LangChain. Yeah, I know I can do that. I'm gonna see if I can do, if I don't have to do as much of that as possible. Like if I can just write a bunch of glue code myself, that would be the best. So, for example, one thing I want to do here is for this model here. So like the Llama 3.1 8B instruct FP16. Let's say prompt. Tell me what the weather is in Denver, Colorado. Stream false, raw false, and then I think we have to go to, I think, the GitHub to look at the documentation. And they have tool use in here somewhere. Oh, it's the API use. I think that's where it is. Okay, API documentation. So model prompt suffix images. Oh, so that's how I do it. Just a base64 encode the image. Oh, that's how. No tools in here. I vaguely remember that there was something to do tool-wise. I should probably just search for tool. Okay, let's do that. Parameters. Okay. Generate a chat completion. Model messages tools. Tools for the model to use if supported. Require stream to be set to false. Okay, so tools. Yeah, okay. So many updates because we later. So this would be tools, and I think you're an array of strings, so we can do like get weather. And so that would be like the name of a function or something else that I would create myself. Okay, or just like I said, you can use your code to create an agent. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I want to create my code for an agent, because that way in the meetup talk, I can talk about like what it really is doing behind the scenes. And then if I make this like a relatively simple but still really fun demo, then that'd be fun too. Okay, so what are you upset about? If I send this, it'll take a little while for it to load up the model. In the meantime, ooh, this model got loaded up too. So we have I can throw in the screenshot that we had there. That works. We'll get to that in a second. Let's run this first. Okay, so you don't have real-time access to weather conditions. Yeah. But do you have tool use? Oh, because this isn't generate. I want chat. Cannot unmarshal string and gostruct field chat request tools of type API.tool. Okay, so tools, that's not how to use it. Okay, so post to API chat. Yeah, model messages. And that's how I can keep, so do I have I don't think I have a chat one here. Okay, so instead of prompt, I think this is messages. You become an array. Tell me what the weather. I wonder if I have to have this be like a object where it has like user. So it's like it knows that the user is the last one to say it, or if it's just a bunch of strings. Tools. Okay. Oh, the message object has the following fields. Never mind. Here we go. Okay. So wait, is this the response? Role. The role of the message system. Okay, so this will be an object. We'll have role. Role will be user. Content. Images. Okay, we don't have that. And tool calls. So they don't have that. I would love to see an example with tools. Oh, chat request with tools. Okay, tools. Okay, so this definitely is an array of functions. So we're gonna have type function. Wonder what other type of tools there are. And then that itself. Oh, type function. Oh, interesting. Okay, so then function. Function is another object, and that's gonna have name. So this would be like get weather. Description is probably for the AI to figure it out, right? That's my guess. So description, get weather for a given location. Parameters. Okay, so the different parameters that we pass in. Type. Ooh, so like I have to pass it in like what type of thing it's going to be. So type object, properties, location, type string. Okay, I see how it's going. It's like format, the format to return the weather in. Okay, so I'll just do one. So parameters, type object. So type parameters is an object. So you're a type. I wonder if I can just make this a string. So string description. And description is the location to get the weather. Weather. For example, Denver, Colorado, San Jose, California, or let's one more maybe. Alaska, like New Zealand. I don't really know many cities in New Zealand, so. Okay, so if we do that, that's good. Required look. Oh, okay. So required. So that would be. What level is required in? Under parameters. Oh, so I think this does need to be an object then. Weird. Okay, so you'd be an object? Oh, parameters type object. So object, and then this would be location. Type string. Description comes up here. Can I? No, I can't go like that. Okay, description like that. And then required. Required is an array of location. Okay. And then that looks like that's it. So if I send you okay. So what I get back is message. The assistant doesn't say anything at all. So the assistant hasn't said anything out loud, but wants to run the tool, get weather, and it wants to pass in the location, Denver, Colorado. Okay, cool. And so then I would respond. Okay, so I think messages, I think I can now respond, right? With another one where it was roll. Roll tool, right? Tool. Roll tool. Okay, so roll tool. Oh, no. This was roll assistant. So actually, I just copy this directly in, don't I? So this message is this. It was you. So we have role assistant. Okay, beautify JSON, please. So then the assistant doesn't say anything but wants to call the function get weather and passes in location Denver, Colorado. And so then next is going to be the role is tool. Content is going to be maybe I just do something like what is it right now? 50 degrees F 42 AQI. What else would I want to put in? Like sunny. Like let's say my function just passes, like creates a string of different stuff after it gets back from the API and it sends this in. So then I want you to respond. So we send this to you. Based upon the output from the tool call, it appears that the current weather in Denver, Colorado is 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is quite mild. Air quality index 42, which is considered moderate. Weather condition sunny, meaning there are no clouds or precipitation, so it seems like a pleasant day to be outdoors in Denver. So this is how I can then do this type of stuff, right? So if I pass in, like, I want to do this, but I also pass in the possible tools that can be done, the AI then says, I want to call this function based upon what you have. So, okay, let's go back in time. Let's say that you haven't responded and you haven't called this tool yet, but let's add some more tools that are like maybe not normal. So maybe we have another tool called get running programs. So list the programs running on the user's computer, let's say. Completely non-related. Object. Okay, so you don't get a location. In fact, maybe there are no parameters. I wonder if I can skip that. So if I do this, what tool do you want to call? Get weather. Okay, so this isn't attempting to run a tool that doesn't exist. And then finally, what if I just ask it for something else? Like, hi, how are you doing today? Interesting. Hi, how are you doing today? attempts to run the get running programs. I wonder if it's because it thinks that that might be relevant to how it's doing, right? Oh, can I add like a system prompt in here? I think I can, right? So in chat, there's usually a way to have options somewhere else. Okay, yeah. So options at the base level. So that would be after tools. Okay, so I can do options, the system prompt, and I want you are an AI assistant running in the cloud. You don't have you are not. Ooh, I shouldn't do negative. I guess like running in the cloud. I wonder if that will like make it think that it's not on the user's computer, so it won't like respond in that way. Let's try that. I want to see if I can get it to not. Okay. No tool call is necessary to answer this question. An empty JSON response will be provided. Wait a second. Does Ollama feel that it has to call a tool if I pass in possible tools? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So you are an AI assistant in cloud. Okay, how about this? You're an AI assistant in cloud. You have access to the given tools. So you have access to some tools, but it is not necessary to call them if the request can be responded to directly. Okay, so if I do something like that, how about now? No function call is needed for this question as it doesn't. So how would I? Okay, so with tools, can I tell it just ignore the tool? I don't know if I can. Or maybe my query isn't good enough for this. Or I'm using the wrong system prompt. Those could all be like very what if I do no tool? What am I doing? I want to come back here. So what if I do another tool here, as it were? We do type. I guess I would love to know what types are here, because if I do like type none, that'd be great. But so if I do type function, we call this name no tool, so none. Description, call this tool if you don't want to call any other tool. Pass in what you would normally state to the user, and it will mirror that back out. Okay, so if I do that, then function, then we have parameters. Type object, this would just be input, type string, text that will be mirrored out, required input. Okay. So if I send you, yeah, okay, so that works. Function name, noun, arguments. I don't have any feelings or emotions like humans do, but I'm functioning properly and ready to assist with any questions or tasks that you have. Okay, so that's a way to get around the, like, if you pass in a tool, it feels that it has to use a tool. Otherwise, it just says there's no tools that I can use. I don't like that, but this is, I guess, a way to move around that. The other option to do is to update these to like have a choose if we need to do a tool or not at every single step, which I don't like that either, because that's another LLM AI. I don't think that that's necessarily helpful. But okay, so that's something really cool for us to we can use tools, and we know how to use tools. So tool usage with Ollama. So this is pass in tool list with examples on insomnia. Okay. Which model to use? Our options. So we have Llama 3.1, 8B, 3. I think I'm using 3.1 8B. That seems to work fine so far. Let's try our vision thing out. So this is 3.2 vision 11B instruct FP16. So the best we can possibly do with that. And I can grab a screenshot from here and just say, describe what you see on this screenshot. So it's keeping this as vague as possible, and not a very good prompt yet. But let's see what it gets out. Has to load all 22 gigabytes first. The way that Ollama works is by default, after 5 minutes, if you haven't used a model, it unloads it from memory. I stole your wallpaper. I'm so sorry. I totally stole your generic given by Apple default wallpaper. But you know, it is right. Only one person is allowed to have each like wallpaper, so I'll have to choose another one. The image shows a code editor with a list of commands and instructions for an AI agent to perform various tasks, such as cooking, playing games, and creating images. This is really good. Okay, so it knows that Zella.js in front on white font on a black background is unclear what this means without additional context. Below that, there are several lines of code in green and white font on a black background, which that's not exactly true. These appear to be commands or instructions for an AA agent to perform various tasks. Okay, so it is able to read text just fine. In the bottom right corner, there's a green arrow pointing to the right. Maybe that? Or wait, no, I caught like only a specific of it. So it might be like one of these. Okay, but this is pretty cool. So I think that Llama 3.2 Vision 11b is actually pretty good. So Llama 3.2 Vision. So 3.2 Vision. That's good. Now, something that might be interesting. Can this run tools too? So if I come back to Insomnia here and I say, hey, run that model. Ooh, does not support tools. Okay, so we have to use chat with tools. That works just fine. And this is Vision. This is fine. Asitsu, time to go, things to do. Well, have a great rest of your day, and thanks for hanging out. Okay, chat tools, Vision. So we have all of that. That's great, fun. So I don't know if I like that list. I think what I want to do here is we could just say can chat. So can chat, can tools. So this can chat Vision, but cannot do tools. So that's a limitation, but I think that means that we'd have to use two different models. Now there is also Llama run Llama. See if I can just guess this. Llama 3.2 1B. Oh, just go grab it. How do I go? Oh, it's right there. 3.2. Let's try 1B because 1B is pretty basic. And if I do a 1B instruct FP16, that is only 2.5 gigs. That's like really lightweight for an LLM. Okay, so I want to see if it can do hi, how are you doing today? And then we'll also switch over and do a weather request too. Description, the location to get the weather, for example, Denver, Colorado. Description to get okay, so get weather for a given location. And then what if I add in something like you can optionally also be hyper specific? No, I don't think that there's a way. This is not Helix. Error 504. What? No, try that again. There we go. Okay, so you're loaded up. So if we run you now, tool calls, get weather, arguments, New York. Because I asked it. Oh, I asked it, how are you doing today? It has this entire thing of not doing that. So 3.21b just tries to call get weather. So I would argue that 3.21b is not intelligent enough to make a good sort of like decision. So the prediction that it's doing is not good. So 3.21b, not a good one to use. So tools, correct tool choice, llama 3.21b. So it can do chat. Tools, bad tool choice. Not great. There is a 3B. So maybe the 3B is better. It's let's see. So this is 6.4 gigabytes for the 3B, and it was a little bit over 2, so 3 times. Yeah, it's around 3 times. A little bit less than 3 times the size. I do know that as the number of parameters goes up, I believe that it's not linear as it increases. But I don't know if there's like a curve to it or if it's just sort of how the weights are organized. I don't really know enough about how that works. Okay, so I think this will be let's see. I think I can give a very basic talk description, and I can write that up later today. I won't necessarily write into it which of the ideas we're going to go with, whether or not a cooking helper, to-do app, or video game assistant. My guess is that we're going to go with the to-do app, mostly because the to-do app is the simplest and would allow us to write a fully working version of it much quicker. And then later on, after we do the diesel course, we could potentially decide to go down one of these other 2 ones if we want to, because that could be fun. But if any of you have any other ideas of like programs or agents or anything else to create, let me know and I will add it to my list. I feel like this is getting less speed than before. I wonder if when I download like a bunch of things from Olama's servers, they eventually start slowing you down. Just because we're using too much bandwidth. Oh man, now 2.1 megabytes? Come on. it's got several more steps to do to get like the last little things, the other layers as well. So there we go. Okay, so it's got everything. It verifies success. Okay, let's go ahead and call this and let's see if it's good. Well, that kind of worked, but argument ended up being just I as opposed to hi, how are you doing? Let's try it again. It copied what I put in here. Okay, so it chooses the correct tool. Okay, so what about weather? Okay, so it knows to then call get weather and it passes in that. So let's say I pass in you. That's your message. So messages, you come in after you. Okay, so it's assistant and then roll tool. We'll say content will be 55 degrees F, 52 AQI, sunny. According to the current weather conditions, it's currently 55 degrees Fahrenheit in Denver, Colorado, with an air quality index AQI of 52 and plenty of sunshine. Okay, so 3.2 seems to be not. It's better than 3.1 by a mile, but 22B. Was it 22B? No, 8B, 9B, 11B. One of the bigger B was way, 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 way better. So we'd probably go with that one. That was a 22 gigabyte model. Okay, so that being said, this is decent. I wonder if then if I just don't do a two call and I would just like say, okay, I don't pass in the tools. Can I comment out in this? Oh, I can't comment out. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, either way, I think this is a good place to start. Tool usage, which model to use. So I think I was trying 3.18 FP16. That one was really good. I want to try 3.2. B, yeah, 3.2, 3.1 seems to be better. And let's see, so that's tool usage, which models to use. And then, okay, so the next thing, we could now build the demo for the SQL one, the API. We can even use Diesel with that, because that would be fun. But should we use Diesel for that? We totally could, because that could be the function call to like do a query, run a query. But it would be better probably for the demo because it's running SQL, it's writing SQL. you could probably SQLX REST. We could use that because that's a dynamic SQL, which obviously is terrible for security purposes, but it's hilarious for this. All right, so I have some things to think about. It is 11:41, so I think it's around time for us to end anyways. We are doing streams every weekday except Friday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, starting at 9:30 and then going until around noon or so. So we have a lot of fun stuff we can do with this. So probably starting with coding, at least doing a little bit of I guess like we have some more experiments we can potentially do for this type of stuff, but I'm thinking of the to-do app for the real one that we're going to do. So I will have that figured out by tomorrow morning, and then we'll go from there. So with that, have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.